Listen, I don't care what your salary is. I don't care if you make 30,000 or 300,000 a year. If you have these 7 habits, you will stay broke for the rest of your life. And I'm going to prove it to you right now with cold, hard facts that most people are too proud to admit. I'm Kevin O'Leary, and I've built my fortune by understanding one simple truth that separates the wealthy from everyone else. It's not about how much you make, it's about what you do with what you make. Rich people have rich habits, poor people have poor habits, and if you're watching this video wondering why you're still living paycheck to paycheck despite having a decent income, I guarantee you're guilty of at least 5 of these 7 financial sins. But before I destroy your excuses and rebuild your financial future, I need you to do something. If you're serious about breaking the cycle of financial mediocrity, if you want to learn the brutal truth about money that nobody else will tell you, hit that subscribe button right now. Join this community of people who understand that wealth isn't about luck. It's about discipline. And discipline starts with admitting you've been doing things wrong. Let me start with the first habit that's keeping you poor. And this one is going to make you uncomfortable because I know most of you are guilty of it. You're making minimum payments on your credit card debt. Oh, this drives me absolutely crazy. You're paying 18, 20, sometimes 25% interest, and you think paying the minimum is managing your debt. That's not managing debt. That's financial suicide in slow motion. Let me break this down with simple math that even a child can understand. If you have a $10,000 credit card balance at 20% interest and you only make minimum payments, you're going to pay that debt for over 30 years. 30 years. And you're going to pay more than $30,000 in total. You just turned a $10,000 problem into a $30,000 disaster because you chose the lazy option. But here's what really kills me. People tell me they can't afford to pay more than the minimum, and then I watch them spend $50 on dinner they'll forget about tomorrow. You have the money. You're just choosing to spend it on things that disappear instead of solving the problem that's destroying your financial future. Every month you make that minimum payment, you're choosing to stay poor. You're choosing to make the credit card company rich while you stay broke. The wealthy don't carry credit card debt, period. If they use credit cards, they pay them off completely every single month. They use credit as a tool, not as a crutch. And when they do have debt, it's good debt. Debt that helps them acquire assets, not debt for vacations they can't afford or clothes they don't need. Here's what you need to do right now. List every credit card you have. Write down the balance and the interest rate. Attack the highest interest rate first while making minimums on the others, then attack the next highest. It's called the avalanche method, and it will save you thousands of dollars. But it requires discipline. It requires saying no to things you want so you can say yes to financial freedom. Most people won't do this because most people prefer comfort over wealth. Now, the second habit that's keeping you poor is even more insidious because society has convinced you it's smart. You buy cheap junk instead of quality items that last. You think you're saving money, but you're actually hemorrhaging cash on items you have to replace over and over again. I call this the poverty tax. Poor people pay more for everything because they can't afford to buy quality up front, so they're forced to keep buying cheap replacements. Let me give you a perfect example. You buy a $50 pair of shoes that falls apart in 6 months, so you buy another $50 pair. Do this 5 times over 5 years, and you've spent $250 on shoes. Meanwhile, the wealthy person buys one pair of $150 shoes that lasts 5 years. Who spent more money? This applies to everything: cars, clothes, appliances, tools, furniture. Buy once, buy quality, and move on with your life. Your money has better places to be than constantly replacing junk you should have bought properly the first time. But the real problem isn't the money you waste on cheap products. The real problem is the mentality behind it. When you buy cheap, you're thinking like a poor person. You're focused on the upfront cost instead of the total cost of ownership. You're making decisions based on what you can afford today instead of what makes sense financially over time. That mindset will keep you poor no matter how much money you make. Rich people think differently. They calculate the true cost of everything. They understand that sometimes spending more upfront saves money in the long run. They buy assets, not liabilities. They buy things that hold value or improve their lives significantly, not things that make them feel better temporarily. The third habit destroying your wealth, and this is where I'm going to lose some of you, is not having a monthly budget. You have no idea where your money goes. You spend unconsciously, reactively, emotionally, and then you wonder why you're broke at the end of the month. A budget isn't about restricting your life. It's about taking control of your life. It's about making conscious decisions about your money instead of letting your money make decisions for you. When you don't budget, every purchase becomes an impulse purchase. Every expense becomes an emergency. Every month becomes a financial surprise. Let me tell you what happens when you don't budget. You spend money you don't have on things you don't need to impress people you don't like. You live in financial chaos, always wondering where the money went, always stressed about bills, always behind on your goals. That's not living, that's surviving. And survivors don't build wealth. Here's the brutal truth. If you don't tell your money where to go, it will disappear. Every single successful person I know, every millionaire, every billionaire, they all track their money. They know exactly what comes in and exactly what goes out. They treat their personal finances like a business because that's what creates wealth. You need to sit down right now, today, and figure out your monthly income and your monthly expenses. Every dollar needs a job. Rent, utilities, food, transportation, debt payments, savings, investments. Assign every dollar before you spend it. This isn't complicated. It's just uncomfortable because it forces you to face reality. Now, the fourth habit that's keeping you poor is the one that makes me the angriest because it's pure financial stupidity. You buy luxury items with borrowed money. You finance cars you can't afford. You put vacations on credit cards. You buy designer clothes with payment plans. You're using debt to fund a lifestyle instead of using debt to build wealth. Let me explain something about debt that might save your financial life. There are two types of debt: good debt and bad debt. Good debt helps you acquire assets that appreciate in value or generate income. A mortgage for rental property, a business loan, student loans for degrees that increase your earning power. Bad debt is everything else. Credit cards for consumption, car loans for vehicles that depreciate, personal loans for vacations. When you finance luxury, you're not just paying for the item, you're paying interest on top of it. That $1,000 designer purse becomes a $1,500 purse when you factor in credit card interest. That $50,000 car becomes a $60,000 car with financing. You're literally paying extra money for the privilege of borrowing money to buy things that lose value. But the real crime isn't the interest you pay. The real crime is the opportunity cost. Every dollar you spend on luxury is a dollar that's not growing in investments. Every payment you make on a finance vacation is a payment you're not making toward your future. You're choosing temporary pleasure over permanent security. Wealthy people don't finance lifestyle. They buy lifestyle with cash flow from their investments. They build wealth first, then enjoy the rewards. Poor people do it backwards. They enjoy first and try to build wealth with whatever's left over, which is usually nothing. The fifth habit that's destroying your future, and this might be the most important one, is constantly postponing your investments. You're always waiting for the perfect time, the perfect amount, the perfect opportunity. Meanwhile, the clock keeps ticking and compound interest keeps working for everyone except you. I hear the same excuses over and over again. I'll start investing when I get a raise. I'll start when I pay off my debt. I'll start when I have more money. Newsflash: there will never be a perfect time. There will always be an excuse if you're looking for one. The best time to start investing was 20 years ago. The second best time is right now. Here's what you don't understand about investing. It's not about timing the market, it's about time in the market. Every year you wait is a year of compound growth you're missing forever. If you invest $500 a month starting at age 25, you'll have over $1.3 million by age 65. If you wait until age 35 to start, you'll only have about $600,000. That 10-year delay just cost you $700,000. But most of you won't start investing because you think you need thousands of dollars to begin. Wrong. You can start with $50 a month. You can start with $25. The amount doesn't matter. The habit matters. The consistency matters. Building wealth is about developing the discipline to invest regularly, not about having perfect conditions. You know what rich people did when they were starting out? They paid themselves first, before rent, before food, before entertainment. They invested in their future. They understood that if they didn't prioritize their wealth, nobody else would. They made investing non-negotiable, not optional. The sixth habit keeping you poor is willful financial ignorance. You refuse to educate yourself about money. You don't read financial books. You don't understand basic investing principles. You don't know how compound interest works. You don't understand taxes. And then you wonder why you're not getting ahead financially. Financial education isn't taught in schools, so you have to teach yourself. But most people won't do this because they think it's boring or complicated. They'd rather spend hours watching Netflix than 1 hour learning how money works. They'd rather scroll through social media than read about investing. That ignorance is expensive. Here's the truth about financial education. It's the best investment you'll ever make. Every book you read, every course you take, every podcast you listen to could save you thousands of dollars or make you thousands of dollars. The return on investment for financial education is infinite because it compounds over your entire lifetime. I've been studying money and investing for over 40 years, and I'm still learning. The markets change, new opportunities arise, new strategies develop. The moment you think you know everything is the moment you stop growing your wealth. Successful people are perpetual students, especially when it comes to money. You need to commit to learning something about money every single week. Read one financial book a month. Listen to investing podcasts during your commute. Follow people who actually have money, not people who just talk about money on social media. Invest in your financial education before you invest in anything else. The seventh and final habit that's keeping you poor is the most dangerous because it's invisible. You have a lottery mentality. You believe that wealth comes from luck, not from systematic effort. You think successful people just got lucky, won the lottery, inherited money, or had some unfair advantage. This mentality is poison because it makes you passive. If wealth comes from luck, then all you can do is wait and hope. You don't take responsibility for your financial situation. You don't make the hard decisions required to build wealth. You just keep buying lottery tickets, literally or figuratively, hoping something magical will happen. Let me tell you something about luck. Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Every wealthy person I know created their own luck through decades of smart decisions, hard work, and financial discipline. They didn't wait for someone to save them. They saved themselves. You need to stop believing in financial fairy tales and start believing in financial fundamentals. Wealth isn't built through get-rich-quick schemes, hot stock tips, or cryptocurrency gambling. Wealth is built through consistent saving, smart investing, and compound growth over time. It's boring, it's methodical, and it works. Here's what you need to understand. You are in control of your financial future. Every decision you make with money either moves you toward wealth or away from it. Every dollar you spend on consumption instead of investment is a choice. Every month you postpone starting is a choice. Every excuse you make is a choice. So let me bring this all together for you. Stop making minimum credit card payments and attack your debt aggressively. Stop buying cheap junk and invest in quality items that last. Start budgeting every single month without exception. Stop financing luxury and start financing your future through investments. Stop postponing your investing and start today, even with small amounts. Stop being financially ignorant and commit to learning about money. And stop believing in luck and start creating your own financial destiny through discipline and smart decisions. These 7 habits are the difference between being financially free and being financially trapped. It's not about your income level. I've seen people making $40,000 a year build serious wealth because they understood these principles. And I've seen people making $200,000 a year living paycheck to paycheck because they refused to learn. The choice is yours. You can keep doing what you're doing and stay exactly where you are financially, or you can acknowledge that your habits are the problem and commit to changing them. It's uncomfortable. It requires sacrifice. It means saying no to things you want today so you can say yes to financial freedom tomorrow. If this video has opened your eyes, if you're ready to stop making excuses and start making progress, I need you to take action right now. Hit that like button and tell the algorithm this content matters. Leave a comment below and tell me which of these 7 habits you're most guilty of. Be honest. We're all learning here, and if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now. Join our community of people who are serious about building wealth. But don't stop there. Become a member of this channel. When you become a member, you're investing in your financial education. You're joining a community of people who understand that wealth is built through knowledge, discipline, and action. Your financial future starts today. Not tomorrow, not next month, not when conditions are perfect. Today, these 7 habits will either make you wealthy or keep you poor. The power is in your hands. Now stop wasting time and start building the wealth you deserve.